The last 15 years has been a crazy adventure of ups and downs, highs and lows. I'm speaking personally. It has been a roller coaster ride of climbing a hill, going down a hill, and now we're back on the climb.
When I first started at JHA, it was what I'll call the Wild West of the natural gas boom in northeastern Pennsylvania.
It was a boom that this area had never seen before.
Here's this teeny tiny company that no one had ever heard of, that all of a sudden they went from having 2 employees to 60 employees in a matter of 2 or 3 years.
Back then, with the gas boom, it was, I would call it controlled chaos.
We still had structure. It was just that we had so much work, it was so plentiful, and it was just, how are we going to get the job done?
For the first 6 months, I was out backpacking through the woods, locating pins, doing the topographic surveys, bringing the data in, processing the points, generating the mapping, creating the design.
When Joe started in on this, he knew the gas industry had a start and end date. He actually had asked folks, he says, how long do you think this work's going to be around? And someone had told him about 10 years, and that ended up being right. So Joe had the foresight to look into land development in other areas and try to spread out so we weren't hit as hard as other companies were when the slowdown eventually happened.
I really had a desire to start a business so that I could relocate to near the area where I grew up, and also have some flexibility in my schedule to serve on some short-term mission trips. Initially, it was more about me and starting a business so that these things could happen in my life. And from there, as our team grew and the stewardship of just employing people and maintaining the jobs, that responsibility to keep things going.
He's employing 60-some people. Now it's like almost 90 people, and as we grow, that's a heavy weight for someone to carry on one person's shoulders.
In the early days, we called the company Joe Hunt and Associates. But as time went on, I quickly realized the company was becoming more than Joe Hunt. It was more about the associates.
He really does see people as very important, as more important than himself many times.
Joe is someone who leads with a lot of grace.
Working for Joe is unlike anything that I've ever done. I mean, I've worked for other companies, and the way he presents himself, the way he cares about every single employee, is something that you normally don't see.
Why do we exist? Why do we do what we do? Obviously we come to work every day, we support our families, but there's a greater, I'd say, purpose.
Taking care of each other, taking care of our people, making sure that people are paid adequately, supported internally, given the resources that they need. I mean, everything else just stems from that.
That's how this team works, is we work together. If you need help from another group, we're not going to leave you hanging. And if we struggle with something, we reach out to each other and we describe what we're struggling with and how we can kind of work through it. And that's why I love working here.
This company is something that on paper I may own, but ultimately God owns it. I'm a steward of it. I'm to hold on it with an open hand, and it exists for a purpose, to serve our clients, to provide for our people.
He wants to give back to the community through missions organizations that support the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Scripture says that the love of money is the root of all evil, and one way to not love it is to give it away.
And then he gives back to his team, and then he builds the company.
Profit and wealth can do one of two things. It can destroy you, or it can enable you to do great things.
What's the company look like in the future? Based upon what I've seen throughout the years I've been here, based on Joe's vision, I don't see it getting any smaller.
We're really untapped in certain areas that we already have offices and people, and so I can see us really growing and sort of investing more in those spaces as well, both with new clients, new services, but also with team members.
Our goal of that is within 10 years that we'll be in a position to give $2 million annually to those causes. And in order to do that, we're going to have to triple the business in size. That means we'll be in the vicinity of 250 to 300 team members. We're going to be in new geographies. We're going to be in new locations. We are investing in our leaders to fill the leadership pipeline so that we've got people to step into leadership roles in the future. I'm looking to make myself replaceable and so is the rest of our leaders on the team.
I think he wants to succeed in the things that matter most. And as long as you're doing that, as long as you're pushing towards something that is bigger than yourself, something that really matters, it rises above those things that topple so many other companies. That's one of the things that stick out to me. As long as that is its focus, I think JHA will thrive.